Eshuo elegbadae, Eshuo elegbadae, elegbada mofori bale elegbago. I just sang to open this session, asking that Elegba, who is the trickster of the Yoruba pantheon and the linguist and the magician, I'm saying to him, Elegba, you are king. I bend my knees in honor to you. Elegba, be cool. 40 years ago, the only thing you would have been able to find on Yoruba tradition would have been written by some British anthropologist who had already decided that we were a bunch of savages who didn't know what we were doing and didn't have a language and all of that. And so all of that got interpreted through his lens, okay? We went through a period where people who were educated were told to stay away because this would primitivize them, okay? And then my generation and a few before me said, well, you've educated me, I have a bright intelligence, but I want to look at my own stuff. I can say to you that the Orishas are, number one, the forces of nature personified. We personify them. The ocean is so vast that the only way me as the human can comprehend that vastness is to say, Olokun is the bottom of the ocean, Konla is the white foam on the ocean, Ogunti is a wave hitting the sea, Achaba is an anchor in the ocean. I break it up into parts that are digestible for me, but I don't fool myself. The ocean came before me, okay? And for millennia, we looked at the ocean, we noticed its behavior, we noticed that certain ones of us behave just like it, okay? And we call that person a child of that natural force, okay? Knowing that you are a child of that natural force, that is your place in the universe, that is part of your contract with creation, allows you to shamelessly be yourself, okay? And in shamelessly being yourself, you are merged with all of nature, okay? Now, one of the problems that people have in understanding this is that Western investigators did the anthropomorphic thing that separated us from nature. So people will say, well, when you're talking about Shango, you're talking about the fourth Alafin of Oyo, a man who was a king in Nigeria. Yes, that's true, but that man was named after the deity. And that man becomes part of the folklore of the mythology of the deity. He was a child of the thunder. He had a thundering voice. He ruled. He had issues of justice. And when he died, and this is where Christians get upset with me, there is no difference between me saying Obako Soul that the man Shango, who was the son of thunder, ascended. That's the JC story all over again, okay? A man who was the son of God went through some stuff, ended up being hung next to two thieves, proved himself to be above that, and they say he ascended. We are all going to ascend if we fulfill our contract with creation. Like the Greeks have the constellations and the stars, okay? Everybody has it. I have seen the Native American cosmology projected onto the stars at the Chabot Space and Science Center. If we could do that with every culture, we would know that we're all under one heaven. We would know it. We would be able to feel it, you know? So that's some of the work of just making us understand that we are swimming in the mystery and we're not separate from it. And the Orishas are not separate from it. So we are facing the ancient mystery with new equipment. You know, we're facing, and I go through that a lot. Like I get invited to secret meetings of people who are scientists and doctors, and you know, their colleagues can't, I'm not most out person there, but you have people subjecting psychic and spiritual phenomena to cold, hard machine tests. So one fella was going through this thing about turning on the television and seeing the image of his dead grandfather, right? And he was just amazed that his grandfather's image was showing up there. I said, well, here's the late breaking news, baby, okay? If the TV is the way that you get through to your grandpa, don't just look at him, talk to him, ask him a question, and here's the real late breaking news. I can do the same thing sitting at my altar with a candle and a glass of water. When you through with the heavy metal, okay, when you through with the outside, try going inside and see what happens. For me, the internet, which we're all so thrilled about that I can send an email, is just an externalization of the internet, where the Olokun priestess in Oakland, you know, can sense what's going on with me and send me energy. We've been doing it from time immemorial. But now, since we have these material things to work with, maybe we're arriving at a balance where it doesn't have to be either or. Maybe the external and the internal can work together and bring us into a balance tomorrow. I can care enough about somebody that part of me can fly there and give them a message or look in on them, that kind of stuff. It's not something that I do every night, but I am capable of doing that, and there are others who are capable of doing that. And sometimes we meet out there, you know? And how do you explain that if you're just going to deal with hard reality? But our history, the mythology of our history, is full of stories about that. I mean, you know, nobody can explain why the Dogon people of Mali have a dance that they do every 50 years that mirrors the Pleiades, and they were doing it long before telescopes were invented. You know what I'm saying? That we are just returning to the mystery, and it feels almost unexplainable unless you have experienced some part of it. See, you know, within the tradition we have a safeguard around that. We have a thing called Igbe's, okay? So if you're somebody who flies and I'm somebody who flies, you and I are sort of in the same club, and we can talk to each other about it. We might not tell somebody who doesn't fly because we need to have this conversation. We need to double check. Last time you went out there, did you see what I saw? This is what I saw. This is what I felt. So it's like belonging to a mystical guild or something.
Right, let's go.
Eshuo elegbadae, Eshuo elegbadae, elegbada mofori bale, elegbago.